Good evening. Oh, hi. I didn't know whether I was going to get on today. It's been a day. We've been making wax melts this morning. That went well. And I don't know, I've been tinkering, but sort of, the kind of tinkering where you're getting stuff done but nothing done at the same time. That kind of tinkering. I've been messing with the website, I've been writing blog posts. It's all been very boring and not particularly dramatic. However, stuff did get done. I've crossed a few things off the to-do list. I'm not behind, which is, good. So, I thought, Kaylee's gone out for dinner with a friend, so while we wait for her to come home, I thought, got an hour or so, let's get a little bit more of this game done, because I do want to get started on the Dreamlight Valley update at some point soon. So, okay, I can't really remember where we were. I think hadn't just gotten... Yeah, we got him off. He wasn't Master Mask. But now we've got a murder problem. There's been a murder. I'm glad we found the urn and all. But poor Mr. Delight got arrested again. Well, supposedly Mr. Delight was in the CEO's office when the murder occurred. No way, Jose. I don't buy it. But the one who proved that Mr. Delight was there was Mr. Nick himself. At least from what I can understand. Looks like you did too good of a job this time, Nick. Well, how about we get started looking into the KB security murder? I think I'm going to head back to Crane Village for a little while, if that's alright. Sure, but why? I'm going to bring the sacred urn back and have some people take a look at it. Oh, that's a good idea. I think I'll go with you. No, Mystic Maya, you should stay here. I want you two to spend some quality time together, full of love and happiness. Special quality time. Pearls is so caught up in her fantasy, she forgot there's a murder to solve. Okay, so we've given the urn back. Now remember, no fighting, okay? Sure, Pearls. Bye. She's gone. Okay, Nick, time to get going on this murder investigation. Okay, what do you think we should do? What do we do? What do we do? So what do we do now? Isn't it obvious? We should get out there and investigate the murder. Well, first, we need to find out exactly where KB security is located. Hey, why don't we ask Miss Delight? She should know. Besides, I want to ask her about some stuff. I want to ask her some stuff about motorcycles. Why was that sentence so difficult to say? Motorcycles. You're not thinking of getting one, are you? I'm not the same little Maya who used to be happy with her dinky little bike, Nicky boy. Speaking of asking around, I've got a few questions of my own for Mr. Delight. Okay, well, let's make sure to go to the detention centre too. You must be relieved we got the sacred urn back though, huh? You bet. But there's something a little different about it. Don't me. It's pretty obvious, isn't it? I mean, take a look at this. It clearly says I am on the urn on the poster. But the urn we got back says Amy, like it always used to. Oh yeah, you're right. Plus, the vase has pink splotches on it now. I'm sure they weren't there before. Maya doesn't know, but 1 year ago, when the urn was broken, the repairer accidentally turned Mystic Amy's name into I am. And that repairer was one mechanically unskilled little Pearls. But still, I don't remember ever seeing pink splotches on it. Is it possible that the urn is a fake? I'm sure Pearls will find out about that once she gets back to Karain Village. Yeah, I suppose. Now that I think about it, Maya hasn't been back to Karain Village in a long time. So, I guess people still go to Karain Village to do their training, right? Yep. If you want to become a spirit medium, you need to undergo severe training. So why haven't you been training lately, Maya? Well, lately I've been thinking of heading to a channeling dojo to do just that. A channeling dojo, huh? Sounds pretty serious, whatever that is. If you're going to train, you have to be serious. Otherwise, real tragedies can happen. Is that what happened last year? Is what happened last year still bothering you? That murder in her village. It happened because the power of channeling was misused. When a medium uses a Karain technique, she temporarily loses her own will. So when an especially strong spirit is summoned, the spirit medium can get taken over and even forced to commit terrible crimes. What's worse, in those cases, the spirit medium has no memory of what happened. Ow. That murder. It wasn't your fault, Maya. You know that, don't you? I suppose not, but I guess I'm still a bit shaken up, that's all. It sounds like being the master of Karain is going to be a heavy responsibility. Okay, so I guess then we're going to go and talk to Ms. Delight. Okay. Oh, Nicky boy. Maya. Ms. Delight. All I wanted to do was help my dear Ronnie. Yeah, but I guess it ended up hurting his case. Don't say that, Nick. She doesn't need your help beating herself up. Hey, Nicky boy, please help Ronnie. He's not a killer, I swear. My Ronnie wouldn't hurt a fly. Alright, I'll poke around and see what I can find out. Really? Are you serious? Oh, I'm so happy. I knew asking for your help was the right thing to do. I don't know what I can do to help anymore. I had no idea Mr. Light had such a vulnerable side. Okay, so what do we know? Listen carefully, Nicky boy. My Ronnie would never ever kill anyone. It's just not in him. I don't think he would either, Nick. Yeah, you have to admit he's got a bit of a temper to him. It's not that hard to imagine him just snapping and screaming, please die. He would never say that. Anyway, Mr. Light, he might not be a killer, but he's still going around saying that he's a thief. I already told you. That's just a fantasy for him. Mr. Light, I hate to say it, but you're the one living in a fantasy world. What? How dare you say that to me, Nicky boy? I know everything about my Ronnie. We don't have secrets between us. Ronnie isn't the thieving type. He's so honest that he wouldn't even sneak a nap. He's so honest that he wouldn't even steal a glance. A thief? The very idea. I guess I just don't get it. Huh? Get what? I just can't understand how they can be so different and yet be such a happy couple. Yeah, they sure are different. Come on now, Nicky boy. It's not that mysterious, is it? It was love at first sight. For me, anyway. What? For you? Okay. I hate these kinds of people more than anything. You mean ace detectives? No, I'm fine with ace detectives. Oh, so then you must mean thieves? No, they're alright too. I just hate thieves that pretend to be ace detectives. It's very specific there. There's nothing I hate more than cowardly men. By the way, why did you go to Detective Atmy's office anyway? Well, as the trial went on, I started to get more and more anxious. I went there to try and find out more about the real criminal. The real criminal? Yes, obviously, the real Mask to Mask is not my Ronnie, right? Yeah. And Detective Atmy knew more about Master Mask than anyone else. They mentioned him on the Great People Around Town segment on TV. So then you went there to ask him some questions. That's right. I'll do whatever it takes to save my man. His secretary said the ace detective isn't in right now, but I forced my way past her and into his hideout. I wouldn't exactly call the office of his a hideout. That bag was sitting right there on top of the table. It was? Oh yeah, we saw that bag there yesterday too. There's nothing lower than someone who would try and pin a crime on someone else. Mr. Light, do you know about KB Security? Don't be silly, of course I do. That's why my Ronnie works. So she thinks he still works there, huh? And yet, according to what we heard today... Come on, don't tell me you didn't know. Ron Light was once an employee of KB Security. He was a professional security guard. This is all very past tense. Ron quit. He doesn't work there anymore. It looks like Mr. Light doesn't know. KB Security is only about 20 minutes away. By motorcycle, that is. Larry told me it takes 30 minutes by car. Well, I have to admit I tend to fly pretty fast on my bike. To make it to KB Security that fast, are you sure you aren't literally flying? Why don't I give you a ride sometime? Or better yet, how about now? No, I'll pass, thanks. Why don't you just tell me where it is and we'll go ourselves? What a scaredy cat you are, Nick. Mr. Light told us the location of KB Security. Perfect. Okay, let's head over there right away, Nick. Okay, let's ask about the love at first sight first. We've still got questions. So was it really love at first sight when you first met Mr. Delight? Well, maybe not at first sight. Ronnie saved my life. Saved your life? I was at work one day when two robbers suddenly rushed in. Well, I'm not the kind to just curl into a little ball in the corner, so I fought back. Robbers? Yes, they took me hostage. I was so frightened. They were both carrying these huge knives and I broke down into tears. Yeah, I would do if I were in that situation. Oh, I think I get it. Did Mr. Delight come running to save you? Yes, exactly. I remember he looked so handsome in that guard uniform of his. He went right up to those two knife-wielding robbers and screamed in their faces. Please stop it, he screamed. I could see the robbers' faces turn pale. That high-pitched shriek of his does have a surprisingly strong effect on people. Then, crying and swinging his arms like crazy, he attacked the two robbers. All by himself. He came to save me, a total stranger, all by himself. He was so scared that he was crying and shaking. But he still risked his life for me. Wow, that's a great story. Yes, he may not look it, but in a tough situation, there's no one better. That's why I fell in love with him like I did. That's so romantic. I'd think I'd fall in love too, I guess. Nick, I hope you'll do the same for me if I ever get taken hostage. With Maya, that possibility always seems to loom in the not-so-distant future. Okay, so I guess we're going to move then to the CEO's office now. She's told us where it is before we go talk to Ronnie. Just wrap my dog back up. He's just got up and had a drink. See, he's wrapping back up in a warm now. There we go. Okay, CEO's office. Let's do this. So I guess this is where it all went down, huh? The walls in here look thick, just like you'd expect in a CEO's office. What has that got to do with anything? Hey, it's you guys. Oh, it's Detective Gumshoe. Today was a real train wreck for you guys, huh? Sure was, pal. That prosecutor made real fools out of us. Yeah, I feel for you. Well, that's not like you at all. I thought you'd be more like... Oh, that was great. You guys got what you deserved, pal. Ho, ho, ho. Or something to that effect. Do I really sound like that to you, pal? If the gumshoe fits. Nice. Well, anyway. The point is, I can tell when someone puts their heart into their jobs. And I can sympathise when things don't go your way. Sometimes I feel like wrong is the only way things go for us detectives. Yeah, I had no idea Detective Gumshoe was such a nice guy. Now, if this little love fest is over, maybe we can start investigating. Okay, let's see what happened. Detective Gumshoe, tell us what you know about the murder. Okay, but the thing is, I'm really not supposed to. Okay, come on. What about how we put our hearts into our work? Things are really working against us right now and we need help. Okay, I'll tell you. Just don't start crying on me, okay, pal? Okay, I won't cry on you, pal. The victim's name is Kane Bullard. He was the CEO of KB Security and a pretty big fella in his own right. His corpse was discovered at 9 this morning. His estimated time of death was 1 in the morning on October 12th. Cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head, probably an object in this room. It happened at exactly the same time that Master Mask was stealing the urn, huh? Cerebral hemorrhaging from blunt trauma to the head. Okay. So why did it take almost an entire day to discover the body? There's a good explanation for that one. Bullard's body was stashed away inside that safe. The safe? Well, it is pretty big. Nobody had heard from him, and when they opened the safe this morning, out he came. Oh, so the body fell out. That white string must be the shape from when he fell out. I think we still need more information about Mr. Bullard. Maybe you could start by getting the man's name right? Okay. So, what happened to Master Mask? He's at the detention centre screaming like a madman. Investigate me again, he keeps yelling. No, I didn't mean him. He's not the real thief anyway, right? Oh, you mean that detective at me? Oh, that was great. That guy got what he deserved. And that's the detective I know and love. Think about it. Atme was always around when a calling card showed up. But he always mysteriously disappeared when the heist took place. I was hiding at the crime scene. Yeah, right. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard. That's how you just knew he was the thief. Well, that would explain how he was able to retrieve the stolen item he keeps bragging about. Yeah, he just did that to make himself look like a great detective, that's all. But there's this one thing I can't figure out about this first heist. His first heist? Yeah, the Tear of Emanon. There was one witness. There was a witness on that one. A witness? Here, I saved the newspaper clipping. Since the thief is already under arrest, you guys can keep it. Thanks. The gem and the thief. Hey, this guard here, haven't I seen him somewhere before? It's pretty small, so it's kind of hard to see, but now that she mentions it... Oh, that prosecutor, I really don't like that guy. The way he used our own evidence to do that to Mr. Delight. I mean... Yeah, I think he did it that way just because he knew it'd hurt more. That's what my gut tells me anyway. Ooh. So who is that Java-addicted masked maniac anyway? Prosecutor Godot. He's quite the enigma, huh? The thing is, pal, I never even heard of the guy before. He just showed up one day at the prosecutor's office. Came out of nowhere. right. He said this was his first case as a prosecutor. And it's true, according to the records anyway. But no way he's an amateur. He's a nice man in court, a maverick that gives me the goosebumps. Goosebumps? You? Yeah, I knew something was off about him, so I asked around. Nobody would talk to me. They all just turned the other way. Poor Detective Gumshoe. I had no idea you were so unpopular. No, that's not what I meant. That Godot guy acts like he knows me and has a grudge against me. I get the feeling he's hiding some kind of dark secret. Who is he going to end up being? Okay. So we need to find out more about Mr. Bullard. So let's see if we can ask more questions about him then. Detective Gumshoe, tell us more about Mr. Shane Bluebard. That's Kane Bullard, not Shane Bluebard, pal. Oh, yeah. The victim in this case just doesn't make much of an impression on me. Well, you were the victim up until Mr. Bullard was found dead. Yeah, and his body wasn't discovered until this morning. Anyway, we don't have enough information yet. Can you help us out? Sorry, I'm actually a little confused myself. For some reason, I'm just blabbing like an idiot right now. Okay, Nick. Now is our chance to get more info about the victim, so hurry up and ask. Okay. The victim. Can you tell us some more about Mr. Bullard? He was CEO of KB Security, right? What kind of company is it anyway? Well, the company basically sends security teams out to buildings to guard them. Mr. Bullard must have had the chance to learn a lot of secrets doing this kind of work. Oh, and? I don't know how to put this, but the guy was kind of a money grubber. Really? Me too. I just love money. I can't ever get enough. Please stop leaning in towards me like that. You aren't getting to my wallet. Anyway, it looks like he did some pretty shifty stuff to earn his millions. Oh, so that's my problem. I need to be shiftier. Let me go already. Apparently, he was involved in selling trade secrets between rival companies. Oh, that's pretty dirty and underhanded. Yeah, oh. KB Security used to head security operations against masked masks. What? Really? Yeah, and after screwing up so many times, the company's reputation really took a nosedive. So it really was Bullard who sent Ron the blackmail letter, huh? Okay, so we now know about the blackmail letter, so should we tell him... Should we present the blackmail letter and ask him about that? About this blackmail letter? Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about it too, pal. Why would Kane Bullard have been blackmailing Ron Delight anyway? Well, Mr. Delight used to work at KB Security, right? But what was it that made him quit? Nick, that's it. Maybe that's the same reason he's being blackmailed. Well, I'm in the middle of investigating that right now. Oh, alright. Okay. So what do you... Oh, Dad didn't give me anything. Okay, so should we have a look around here? Let's have a look. This must be the CEO's desk. It's a lot simpler than I would have thought. Hey, that looks like a super soft chair. Let me try it out, just for a second. Oh, nice. I feel just like a CEO. Hey, you, whip me up a cup of really expensive import tea and some scones. Move it. Ah, this is the life. The victim sat in that chair just before he was brutally killed, you know. I know these things. What is this? Oh, there's a button here. Let's see. Hey, cut it out. Don't press that. That was pretty funny. I never knew Detective Gumshoe could jump like that. What is that button anyway? It's an emergency buzzer. It says right there on the panel. Oops, you're right. It's written right there. Nick, how many times have I told you to read the instructions first? This alarm's connected to the basement guard room. It's used to summon security up here. Really? Then it's possible on the night of the crime. Oh, so when the CEO was attacked, do you think that maybe he pressed the buzzer? Yeah, I thought about that, so I asked around down there. But they said that the buzzer never went off that night. Also, we couldn't find any fingerprints on the buzzer. Mr. Pollard, the victim, wasn't wearing any gloves, by the way, just so you know. I think we'd better go talk to that guard about this emergency buzzer. Okay. Interesting. What about you? What are you? Check out this big, thick binder here. Leave the heavy lifting to me, Nick. Reading a file isn't exactly back-breaking work, just a little hard on the eyes. Oh, what did you find out, Nick? With this file, it's not about any sort of security operations or anything. This huge file is all about Master Mask. It's filled with info on him. What? What kind of info? It's filled with incredibly detailed information about his methods and the crime scene. Hey, Nick, look at the last page. It's a list. Let's see. Tier of Emanon, $100,000. This looks like a list of all the treasures that Master Mask stole. So then $100,000 is the value of the stolen item. I don't know. That number sounds kind of low to me. I think I'd better secretly make a copy of this list. Okay. This is like some kind of bookshelf, rolling cabinet behind rooms. I can't get in between these two shelves. Don't strain yourself trying. It looks like the shelves are controlled by a special panel. So I guess it's one shelf at a time, huh? Looks like they're filled with bunches of files. Yep, files filled with data about security jobs they were hired to handle. It'd be a good night's reading if you've got insomnia. I was hoping for something a little bit more exciting, like UFOs or something. Okay. I suppose we best look at the safe. Think about it, a dead guy was laying in here all night. Yeah. Oh, by the way, don't bother asking about fingerprints. They were none. Well, somebody opened this safe on the night of the crime, right? Yeah, and so? Well, if Mr. Bullard's body was hidden in here, it must mean that it was opened by either the killer or the victim, right? Yeah, I guess so. I got some bad news for you, pal. Are you ready? Okay. Shoot. Opening this baby is no piece of cake. Okay. There are only a few people who know how to open this safe, pal. Who are they? Yeah, and? Everyone that knows how to open this safe had airtight alibis. I checked. Everyone except one, that is. I'm almost afraid to ask. Former security chief Ron Delight. What? Ron Delight? He was a security chief. Ron, so he knew how to open the safe, huh? Yeah, sorry for raining on your parade there, pal. Okay, so let's see about this security room. Okay. Nice place. Wow, this is really something else. For a security guard office, it doesn't feel very secure. Suppose not. KB security guard. Uh-oh. I just remembered. Larry might be... Hey Nick, what's up? So he is here. Yup, how's it hanging, dude? And you got my sweet little Maya with you too. It's so gross. Hi, Larry. Here I was, working my fingers to the bone, and in walks an angel. I've got no problems with a daytime date. It's all good. No, that's not what we're here for. We're investigating the Bullard murder case. Huh? Oh, yeah, that's right. You're a lawyer, aren't you? He's so hopelessly clueless. Well, if it's about the murder case, why have I got some good info for you? Really? What is it? Shouldn't they have security footage of anybody going in and out of that room? Well, I don't mind sharing with my sweet little Maya. Okay. But Nick here is a different story. But Larry, I thought you two were old school buddies. That was then and this is now. Okay. What is this good info? Hey, I'm a guard. A pro. I can't just give away information for free. Wants a bribe. I thought professionals were more, I don't know, honest. Can you talk to him, Maya? Larry, tell us already. What's the good info? Hey, I like that. This kitten has got some claws. Okay, you really want to know? Yes, so tell me. Okay, so the thing is, Rhonda Light was an employee here. And naturally, since I'm a pro, I looked into his background. Follow me? Yes, you're a pro, I follow you. Go on. Well, 1 year ago, Rhonda Light was fired. And there was no warning at all. It just happened all of a sudden. I know this is a small company, but I think that was pretty awful. Hang on, what's he been doing for a year? I guess he must have done something bad to have gotten fired like that. Like maybe skipping out of work to go and pick up hot chicks or something? No, that's just you. If he was fired a year ago, what has he been doing and why did he still have a security card? So what is it like to be a part-time security guard? Let me tell you, it's tough. Well, you know me, I get by alright, I guess. First, I have to keep my eye on those monitors all the time. Monitors? There are security cameras set in each room around the building. It's really hard. Sometimes I feel like my eyes are going to fall out. Oh? And if I see something suspicious, I have to contact one of the teams. What teams? The security teams for this company. They're supposedly the best in the business. But I'm no amateur either, so if it's something small, I don't bother calling them. So in other words, you basically watch TV screens all day long. You were in this office when the murder took place, weren't you? Why do you say that? This is just a part-time job for me, and I can't operate the equipment, and I'm dumb. Even if it is part-time and you are dumb, you're still in charge of security here. Hey, give me a break. Don't try to pin the whole thing on me. That's not fair, Nick. Huh? I don't think you can expect someone like him to take any responsibility. Anyway, the point is you were here that night, right? He wasn't here. Oh no. I knew something smelled bad and it was the butts after all. Okay. Well, it's like I always say, that was then and this is now, okay? Looks like I'm gonna have to break his cyclox after all. Okay, so let's present. Let's see what we need. Okay. On the night of the crime, you were working hard like you were supposed to. Excuse me. I keep getting ever such a tickle in my throat. It's terrible. What? Huh? Of course I was. Why wouldn't I have been? But didn't you sneak out of work yesterday to go see Mr. Light? Ah, but that was that, and this is this. Is there any chance you snuck out of work last night too? Never. I didn't sneak out. I tell you what, I'll even bet you $1. $1. Wow, no, that's confidence. What's with that drenched in the rain puppy look on your face? Do you have evidence that I left my position, or are you just pulling my chain? The evidence that Larry was not manning his station when the murder happened is... Well, he found Ron's wallet. Found in the security building around 1 AM. Maybe this? This wallet. You know about this, right? I've never seen it before. Liar, you hand-delivered this wallet to Mr. Light just yesterday. Give me a break. You can't expect me to remember every little thing that happens. Well, I do expect you to remember something that happened just yesterday. What time was it when you found this wallet? I guess it was around 1 in the morning on the first floor of our company building. 1 o'clock in the morning. That's right. In other words, Larry, at the time of the murder, you were away from the security guard office. Yeah, but there's something you didn't think about. And what's that? My shift that day didn't start until 10 PM. The murderer might have snuck in before then. What do you mean by that? If the murderer had snuck in before 10 PM, then it wasn't my fault. It was the fault of the guy whose shift it was before mine. Why do I have the feeling he still doesn't get the seriousness of this? Listen up, Larry. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the killer snuck into the CEO's office after 10 PM during your shift. Because it was used at 1 AM. Larry, when you use this key card, does it leave a record? Yeah, it does, but I can't show the record to just anyone, you know. That key card data was already made public in the trial today. What? I didn't know that. Any kind of request for info like that is supposed to go through me. Oh, does that sound a bit arrogant coming from a part-time guard? Anyway, according to the data, the door to the CEO's office was opened with this card. Furthermore, it was most definitely used at 1 AM, the time of the murder. No way. Yep, someone used this to get into the CEO's office. That happened at 1 AM on the night of the crime, right in the middle of your shift. Ooh. Larry, you can't duck your responsibility this time. No. Okay, so now tell me about the night of the crime. I knew it. It was all my fault. It's all my fault that the boss was killed. My fault. Larry, there was nothing I could do. I have important issues to deal with too, man. What happened that night anyway? Ah, my Donna happened. Huh? Your Donna? I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, my Donna called and said, I have to talk to you right away. So I went to see her and he was standing right there next to her. Who was? Her new boyfriend. It was like some horrible joke. Before I knew what was going on, the guy sucked me right in the kisser. Normally I'm the one that does the punching. Isn't that right, Maya? Yeah. So is that why you left the security guard office? I'm sorry. It's all my fault. How can I ever make up for it, Nick? What can I do? What? He's curled up on the floor crying like a baby. Oh boy. Nick, is there anything I can do? Anything? Just name it. I'll do whatever I have to make up for it. I swear I will. Larry. Hey Nick, as long as he's offering, why don't you show him the evidence we've got? She's right. Maybe we'll get at least one bit of useful information out of him. Nick. Okay, what can we show him? Oh, hold on 1 second. Let's have a look around first. What's this? Something is written on this poster in fine print. A guard's 5 commandments. Wow, this sounds serious. Let's see what it says. 1. Obey thy superior. 2. Respect thy superior. 3. Smile at thy superior. 4. Salute thy superior. Oh god, the word superior has just gone and lost all meaning. 5. Buy donuts for thy superior upon command. It's signed Wendy Oldbag, head supervisor. She's one tough old bird, let me tell you. Cross her and you come face to face with a real, genuine ray gun. Yeah, sounds scary, alright. Well, fortunately she's on vacation. That's why I'm so relaxed right now. Okay. Interesting. So, what should we present to... Because that was what I was doing. I want to present some evidence. Oh, excuse me. What can we show him? What do we need to know about? We need to know why the buzz... He wasn't here, so he didn't hear the buzzer go off, did he? The buzzer in the CEO's office is directly connected to this room, right? That's right, just like my heart is connected to yours, Maya. Gross. Huh. Go ahead, Maya. Press the buzzer in your heart. I promise I'll come running to your rescue, like the professional guard I am. Wow, that was pretty good. Thanks. I try. Do you think you could tell us about the buzzer now? Yes, please. Please tell us. Okay, I guess so. Prepare to be wowed. Okay, prepare to be wowed indeed. The buzzer, please, if you don't mind. I accidentally pressed the buzzer earlier. Yeah, I heard it. So that was you, huh? You're a security guard, aren't you? Why didn't you come to the CEO's office? Well, this is the 3rd floor of the basement. The CEO's office is on the 1st floor. Thought it would be a good idea to adopt a wait-and-see approach. Plus, there's a police detective here, right? I didn't think it was necessary. It's as if he's trying to win an award for the laziest person on the planet. Let's get back to talking about the night of the murder, okay? Is it true that the buzzer didn't go off that night? There must be a record, right? You must have had a look at it, right? Of course I did, and I couldn't possibly have made a mistake either. Do you think you could take just one more look for me? Pretty please. Oh, okay. I just can't say no to you, Maya. What do you think, Nick? He's probably right. I don't think even Larry could make a mistake like that. What is it? What's wrong? I made a mistake. Huh? But how? It can't be. It's impossible. Okay, enough already. What about the records? That night, it went off just once, in the morning, at around 1 AM. 1 AM? That's when the murder happened. Really? Are you serious? That's terrible. It can't be. Oh, Larry. You are useless. Okay, let's finish having a look around. That's my workstation. Pretty cool. Keep steady eye on the monitors and use that mic for the midnight. Look at all this equipment. Must be hard to operate. No biggie. I think there's an instruction manual somewhere in this room. Somewhere. Instruction manual. What are you going to do in an emergency? Well, I guess I'd start by calmly looking for the instruction manual. During that time, my partner, the old lady, would calmly look for her reading glasses. That's what security professionals call teamwork. Even Maya and Pearls could run this place better. Hey, what's that supposed to mean? Screens? Those screens there show everything. Okay, those screens there show what's going on all over the building, everywhere. And it's my job to keep a steady eye on them, all of them. I wouldn't sound so smug if I were you. Can you watch regular TV on these too? If anyone would sit here and watch TV instead of working, it's Larry. Hey Maya, I'm a pro, okay? Besides, you can't get regular TV on it. And how do you know that, Larry? Because that was my first bit of investigation, if you know what I mean. I know what you're thinking. It was a professional investigation, alright? Was it though? What's this? That's my partner's seat. Your partner? Well, that's what I call her. She's my superior, actually. Kind of a weird old lady. There's tea spilled all over that machine, you know. Oh, don't worry about it. Just the other day I spilled some chocolate milk on mine. Still works fine, more or less. They really know how to build them, I guess. Okay. Coat. Hey Larry, that's your jacket, isn't it? We got an achievement for smelling everything with a whiff of old bag on it. Cool. That's right. Did you know you hung it right on top of some kind of lever? Yeah, sure. I was told to never ever touch that lever. She scowled and huffed at me. Something terrible will happen if you do. Got it, Greenhorn? So why hang your jacket on such an important lever? Because it got me curious. If the jacket's weight pulls the lever down, that's what they call an accident. Doesn't the suspense just kill you? Don't you want to know what'll happen? Huh? It's true. It's killing me too. What about you, Nick? Yeah, but for a different reason. Okay. So I guess then we're going to go to have a look around the warehouse. Let's go back to the CEO's office. Go down to the main exhibition hall. Anybody about? The Treasures of Coraine exhibit is all ruined now. Maya, I'm sorry, it's just so sad. This is our big chance for everyone to learn about spirit channeling. Maybe I can cheer her up somehow. Well, now that we've got the sacred urn back, maybe they can reopen it. Really? Sure. Maybe we can label it the Urn of Masked Masks Desires. That would probably attract a lot of attention. Whoa. Whoa, Nick, that's brilliant. We could clean up and be filthy rich. Woohoo! Wow. That was surprisingly easy. Okay, let's go check out the warehouse. Oh, it's you, Mr. Wright. Miss Andrews. What is she still hanging around down here for? So how is it going? What about the sacred urn? The urn? Oh, that. It's already been taken care of. What do you mean, oh, that? Taken care of? Do you mean it's been found? Yes. It was brought in during the trial today. Wow. Really? You really are the greatest, Mr. Wright. Mr. Wright had nothing to do with it. It was Master Mask's wife that found it. Well, anyway, I'm so relieved. Okay. I just heard all about it on the news. So that detective was actually the thief all along. It looks that way right now. It's my fault. I'm the one who ended up hiring Damask to guard the treasures. Don't blame yourself, you were just doing your job. Hey Nick, if she wants to apologise, you should let her. So, when was it you hired Detective Atme again? About 20 days ago. And when was it that Master Mask's calling card arrived? That was about 10 days ago. So he sent a calling card to the very place he was hired to guard. I guess that's it then. Detective Atme must have really wanted the sacred urn after all. I guess so. What? So Master Mask murdered someone as well? Well, that's how things look right now. Yes, but I thought that he was here stealing the urn at that time. Well, we're talking about a criminal mastermind, so anything is possible. Nick, let's get down to business already. On the night of the theft, did you notice anything suspicious about Detective Atme? No, I couldn't have. After all, he was hidden the entire time. I never even caught a glimpse of him. He claims that's the way he always operates. That's just what he says so he can have an alibi while he commits the thefts himself. Yeah, he was caught in the crime scene photo dressed as Master Mask pretty well. So glad that you got your sacred urn back. Yes, but there's still something that bothers me about it. What is it? I'm not exactly sure, but somehow the urn that came back seems different. Really? You wouldn't know anything about that, would you, Miss Andrews? No, I don't know anything. Why would I? Oh, what do you know? Okay, Cyclops. What do you think this means, Nick? It means that the person that holds the secret to the mystery of the sacred urn is our very own Miss Andrews. Okay, I don't think I've got anything that I can use at the moment to unlock her locks. So let's go to the detention center, if we can. And talk to Ronnie. Let's talk to Ronnie, Ron. Okay. Mr. Wright. Mr. Delight. Did they finish their interrogation? Yes, but please don't leave me alone anymore. Mr. Delight, you lied to us before, didn't you? Well, you see, on the same night, the sacred urn was stolen from Lordly Taylor department store. A blackmail letter you got summoned you to KB Security to hand over some money. And then, that's where the CEO, Kane Bullard, was murdered. But there's only one Ron Delight, am I right? So the only question is, where were you that night? This time I want to hear the whole truth. Your life depends on it. Okay. Okay. Mr. Delight, do you still insist that you are masked mask? Isn't that what I've been saying since yesterday? That was a quick response. Tell me about it. To be honest, it's starting to get irritating. But listen, Mr. Delight. At the trial today, we learned the true identity of the thief, didn't we? Take a good look, everyone. Unable to find a rival worthy of my genius, I was forced to create one by myself. Here I am, the tragic clown. I guess it's true. I wasn't the one that stole that urn. Of course not. After all, you were at KB Security at the time. So then the person dressed up as Master Mask in this photo, it's got to be Detective Atme. Okay. So that night, you didn't go to Lordly Taylor, you went to KB Security, right? Yes, I went to KB Security at the time the blackmail note said I should. Alright, what happened next? Well, I used to work there, so I knew where the CEO's office was. I knocked, but there was no answer. So then I used the key card to unlock the door. That's probably when he dropped his wallet. When I went into the CEO's office, someone was in there. Someone. And then suddenly they bashed me over the head. Was it Kane Bullard that hit you? I don't know. The person ran away while I was still stunned. When I came to my senses, the sight I saw left me speechless. The dead body of the CEO was right there in front of me. I thought I'd die myself. Anyway, I thought I should do something with the body. So that's why you put it in the safe? Yes, that's right. I used to be the chief of one of the security teams, so I knew how to open it. Okay, what did you do after that? Well, I got out of there for starters. I was the one who set up the security cameras in that building, so I knew how to avoid being spotted by them. Nick, all of a sudden, Mr. Delight kinda sounds like the murderer to me. Please don't say that. Mr. Delight, is it true that 1 year ago you were forced to quit KB Security? How did you... I'm begging you, please don't tell Desi, please. Don't worry, we haven't told anyone yet. Phew, thank goodness. No, but I suppose I'll have to tell her sometime. She'll find out eventually. Why have you been hiding it from her anyway? Desi would despise me if she ever found out I was living a life of crime. A criminal, a thief. She'd never forgive me. My marriage would be over. Knowing that, why did you become a thief in the first place? Because Desi spends money like it's water. There's no job in the world that could bring in enough money. Except being a thief. At least, that's what I thought anyway. So he became mask for Desiree, huh? Okay. Okay, what about this first heist thing? What happened? Hey, this is an article about my debut heist. Boy, that was a tough one. Before I knew it, they were hot on my trail. But Master Mask, he must have gotten away, right? It says in the article he disappeared. That's right, I got a sudden burst of inspiration. I hid my Master Mask costume in a nearby plastic bucket. Then I quickly changed into my security guard uniform. Pretty clever, huh? Well, awesome. Hey, hold the phone. The guard in this photo. Is this you, Mr. Delight? That's right. Nice trick if I do say so myself. Nice and easy to figure out. Even Pearls could see through that in a heartbeat. But as you might expect, Detective Atby found the disguise. It truly deserves the title of Ace Detective. Detective Atby found the Master Mask disguise? That's interesting. Yes, and I heard that he brought it home with him. So that's it. That's when Atby got his hands on this. Thanks to that, I got the chance to remake my costume. That must have been really time-consuming, huh? Yes, it took quite a while to complete. Anyway, a few days after that, I received the first of blackmail letters. Blackmail letters? You got them starting when? Tell me more, now. Hey, calm down, don't get so worked up. Okay, so I want to know about the blackmail letters. This blackmail letter, is this the first one you got? No, of course not. But this is the first one that ever called me out to a specific location. So, did you start receiving blackmail letters after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Amanon heist. That first letter, it said I know you did it. So someone found out about your true identity just like that. It's not easy being a master thief, you know. I've got proof that it was you, so give up, it went on to say. So in the end, I had to give up the treasure, and I went through all that... I had to give up the treasure I went through all that trouble to steal. Is that right? Hang on a second. What do you mean, had to give it up? Oh, don't worry. After I put the jewel in the safe deposit box the letter specified, someone sent me $10,000. No one said anything about me being worried, you know. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. Plans? Okay. What plans? So was this blackmail letter written by KB Security CEO Kane Bullard? I think so, probably. You can only get into the CEO's office if you have a key card. And the blackmail letter said to meet at KB Security? Yes, no one other than Mr. Bullard could have written the letter then. Interesting. Oh, I missed that. What are these plans you're talking about? There were instructions on how to steal a crown or painting or some other rare treasure. They showed security blind spots, escape routes, and even suggested training methods. So you mean that the one who planned the heists wasn't you? No, it wasn't. I only planned the very first one. After that, I received plans from some very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. It sounds like Mr. Delight's thankful to the person that was blackmailing him. So Ron Delight was Master Mask after all, but someone else is behind the thefts. Someone who planned them all out in detail. All I had to do was deposit the treasures I stole into the safe deposit box. Then I just waited for the cash to come in the mail. Could you try to not look so gleeful about it? So you went after the sacred urn because of one of those plans too? Well, see, truth is, I've never seen the urn. All I did was follow the instructions and steal what I was told to steal. Mr. Delight, is everything you've just told me the truth? Yes. Please don't tell Desi, okay? Ron, before we go, there's one more thing I want to ask you. Yes? But please don't hurt me. Mr. Kane Bullard, do you swear that it wasn't you who killed him? Yes, of course. I could never. I'm not lying. All I did was hide his body in the safe. But then I was afraid they'd discover what I did, so I turned myself in yesterday. Why? Well, if the judge had ruled that I was guilty of robbery, then I'd have an alibi, right? I guess so. You're really clever, Mr. Delight. I guess I have no choice but to take Mr. Delight at his word. Mystic Maya? Hey, Pearly. I'm back. Hey, Pearls. So, what have you been up to this whole time? The sacred urn, Mr. Nick. I took it back to Karain Village to have it examined. And? What did you find out? Well, there's no need to worry. They said it's the real urn. Phew, that's a relief. I was really worried. But there's one small problem. Problem? These cute little pink splotches. They said it's paint. And they were put on that urn recently. Why are we talking about the pink splotches again? What's the big deal? What's the big deal? We gotta find out how they got there. That's the big deal. Yes, Mr. Nick, we gotta find out how they got there. Okay, we'll go and find out how they got there. Please don't forget about me. Okay, so we have the sacred urn back. Okay, so Let's go and have a look at these pink splotches in the basement. I feel like this is where we need to be. Okay, basement warehouse. Oh, pal. How nice to see you. Hello there. I haven't seen you around lately. What have you been up to? Well, actually, I was having this urn examined. Oh, I see. Maybe if we take another good look at this urn, we can figure out the mystery of what actually happened here. Nick, let's look around one more time. Okay. So we want to examine the cardboard box that has pink... No, no clues there. I need to sneeze. This box. There's something about it that's bothering me. That's the box the sacred urn was in. It looks like there's some pink paint on it too. And it's definitely the same colour as the stuff on the urn. I think I know how the paint got on it now. Alright, let's investigate again, Nick. Okay. And then there was more paint over here, wasn't there? So let's have a look at this. It looks to me like it's been dry for several days. Something suspicious about this paint mark. The bottom left part of it is shaped oddly and it's shockingly pink. Mr. Nick, could it be that this odd shape is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. That's the box the sacred urn was in. If you look here, there's a little bit of paint on the box as well. Wow, you're right. Look, it matches. Of course it does. What is it, Mr. Nick? This is all turning out exactly as I thought it would. It's starting to become clear. We're that much closer to solving the mystery of what happened to the urn. Are we? Okay, so did it have something to do with you? Let's see if it's not a box now. The sacred urn. Miss Andrews, do you know anything about the sacred urn? Do I know anything? I'm in charge of the entire treasure exhibit. The urn that was submitted before the court today. It's obviously not the same urn as before. Well, that's true. Maybe it isn't the same. It could be a fake. A fake. You're the one who said it wasn't the same, so that's the most obvious explanation. Do you have any evidence that the urn that was submitted at the trial was genuine? We've had it examined, and it is the genuine article. Sorry to break it to you, but the urn is the genuine article. Pearls went back to Korean Village and had it examined. Is that right? That's nice, but I don't see how... What she discovered was that the urn had been broken again. Did you say again? Yes, it was broken a year ago, and now it looks like the same thing has happened. And quite recently too. Recently? Are you saying this urn was broken recently? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? How do I know? Maybe it's got something to do with this paint. So, Mr. Wright. Huh? Why do you think it was broken recently again? Well, because, I just think so. Sorry, but that's not a valid explanation. The hunter has become the hunted. Well, it was broken recently. Come on, you know it. I'm not willing to yield to you on this point. Get a grip, please. Now I'll ask you one more time, Mr. Wright. Why do you think it was broken recently? How do you know? Oh, Hang on a minute. The writing. The poster. This poster. It was made recently, right? Poster? Ah, the poster for the exhibit. At the time when this photo was taken, the urn said, "I am" on it. But now, for some mysterious reason, it says, "Amy." When the urn was fixed, the letters were transposed. I am. What does that even mean? I don't know anything about that. I wasn't even there when this photo for this poster was taken. That was a mistake. Now, tell the truth. Wait. 4. Even if the urn was broken, I had nothing to do with it. Yes, that's it. It must have been one of the people at the photo shoot. They probably dropped it. I'm sure that's what happened. Looks like she's not going to give up that last Cyclops so easily. Do you have any proof that the urn was broken here at Lordley Taylor? Well, because of the pink blotches all over it. So maybe this time we present this. Well, Miss Andrews? What is this supposed to mean? There is pink paint all over this urn. And there is pink paint all over the floor and the walls of this basement warehouse. In other words, the urn was broken here. You can't weasel out of this one, Miss Andrews. But... Uh-oh. She's trying to make her escape. But you can get pink paint anywhere. Well, there's none in my office, that's for sure. Well, there is in my room. Liar. Anyway, the paint on the urn and the paint on the floor. There's no proof that it's the same paint. Come on. This is getting ridiculous. The proof linking the paint on the urn to the paint on the floor is the box. This box. The urn was stored in this, right? Yes, that's right. Well, there's pink paint on this box as well. I think you already know where I'm going with this, don't you? Yes, more or less. The paint on the floor has an odd shape imprinted on it, doesn't it? Yes. If you put this box into the impression in the paint, you can see it fits perfectly. Which means this box was dropped right over there. And that is when the urn was broken. Your name does you justice, Mr. Wright. Okay, that got me my points back. I'm so sorry. I was the one who broke the urn. Boy, does this make me feel like some sort of evil school teacher. I'm not a terrible person. Not only did I break it. Oh, I am a terrible person. Not only did I break it, but I tried to hide what I did. Well, that's not so hard to understand, is it, Pearly? No, not at all. I know just how she feels. It happened about 2 weeks ago, just after the poster photo was taken, on the same day the urn arrived here. I thought I'd put it away down here for safekeeping. I was carrying it in the box. When I tripped on a paint can and lost my balance. The box I was carrying crashed to the ground. I heard a terrible noise and thought my heart was going to stop. Fearing the worst, I opened the lid of the box and that's when it happened. The broken pieces of the urn fell out of the box and landed right in the paint. I was in shock and let out a huge scream. I can totally see how that could have happened. Yeah, as clumsy as she is, I'm sure Maya understands. Well, I knew it was the most important treasure in all of Karain Village, so I tried as hard as I could to fix it. Fortunately, the shards were pretty big. And that's when the I am got changed to Amy. I didn't know how it was originally written. For any sane person fixing it would have assumed it said Amy. Any sane person? Really? Oh, Pearls. She's said she wasn't very good at spelling. Anyway, I put the urn into the storeroom and no one has seen it since then. But there's something I don't get. When we first came here, I didn't see any paint stains. Well, that's because it's so ugly and embarrassing. I used the golden statue to cover it. The Amy Faye statue, Okay. The first time that we came down here, it was on the night that the sacred urn was stolen. But Mr. Nick, there were no paint marks on the walls or floor of the warehouse when we were here. Well, there's a good reason for that. On the day of the crime around noon, the golden statue just happened to arrive from the mountain training hall. And I realised that the statue would be the perfect size for covering up the paint stains. That's why I put it where you first saw it. I see. Now it makes perfect sense. But there's still one thing I find strange. What is it, Pearl? The day after the urn was stolen, we came here again. And that time, the statue had been moved and the paint was clearly visible. She's right about that. Well, Miss Andrews? What? I don't know anything about that. I placed it there to cover the paint, so why would I move it again? Well then, who was it? Who would have done it, and why? On the day before the theft, the statue was definitely closer to the door. Then the next day, it was moved. But why? It looks like... What does it look like? There's some connection between the sacred urn and the murder case. Why? Why do you think so, Nick? Because that night, the real thief, Rhonda Light, was at KB Security. So then why did another masked mask show up here? A lot of different things are pointing to one undeniable fact. One undeniable fact. The murder trial is starting tomorrow, but... it looks like that thief is going to be making another appearance. Okay. Okay. So we're going into the trial. Okay, so I think I've got another... What time are we on? I've got about another half an hour or so-ish. So we can probably get a little bit done here. That's fine. Okay. Defendant lobby number 4. Okay, Nick. What is it this time? I can't believe how many people are here for the trial. Well, it is a murder case. What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Next door? Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmy's trial today. Detective Atmy? They said they're going to try him as Master Mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Master Mask's trial. I know. By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident last year. Please, don't ignore me. Oh, Mr. Delight, good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me, even if I killed someone. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? No, I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists. Do you really think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time, like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Okay. So we go into the trial. We get Mr. Coffee Lover again. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defence is ready, Your Honour. Streaming thing, the spirit of justice. Oh, cool. I haven't gotten that far yet. Thanks for the follow. Okay, let's... You're ready. Preparation is the last refuge of the week. Okay, settle down everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. He's got the judge in the palm of his hand yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. Ah, and then you need to get out more, Your Honour. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. That's all my statement means. You understand now, right? Yes. Well then, let me briefly summarise the details of this case. Yeah, these are the first ones I've played. These ones. It's took me a long time. Yeah, I'm a yoga teacher. I used to teach yoga. Oh, love it. I love a fellow yoga teacher. Oh. Okay. The judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. Does he know what's going on for a change? The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 AM on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 AM of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Very well then, Mr. Godot, please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. Well done. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness? Okay then. Let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defence have any objections? Maybe a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. Okay, so then we're going to let him do it. We have no objections, Your Honour. The defence will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Ha! You've got guts, Trite. Nice. Nice. Okay. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. You did it, didn't you? I mean... Yes. What? No, that's not true. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. Same. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Probably. Huh. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, that's kind of hard to say. Oh, I wish I could go home. Poor thing. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. Okay, let's get the testimony. My visit to KB Security. Okay. That evening, around 1 a.m, I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. Is that it? Is that the entire testimony? 1 a.m, the exact time the murder took place. The weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Okay. Ha. It's bitter today too, just like my destiny. You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, if you please. Okay. My visit to KB Security. Okay, so let's ask about the blackmail letter. It ordered you there. It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this, or take that. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? Well, let's just keep going, I guess. So what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, yeah? A perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait. I never intended to pay that money anyway. Oh, is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony. Yes, sir. A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Probably. The blackmail threat didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Okay. Why was he fired? You used to be a security chief for the KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. A security chief? You? And yet, a year ago you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge, perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Why were you fired? I want to know the answer to this question. Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well, the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question. I needed money. You needed money? Well, you see, Desi loves to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Come again? KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, you stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. Well, I wish I had never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I had quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You'd do well to remember that. Would I? He sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. This is a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, This whole thing just took a big turn for the worse, crashed and blew up. It's going to take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. He fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. Okay. So why, if that's true, if Desi, why didn't the... Okay. Reasoning. That can't be true that it didn't, that it wasn't bothering to him, because he surely wouldn't have wanted his wife to find out. So should we do let's ask about, okay, let's, it's not, it can't possibly be true because you'd be bothered by that. Mr. Delight, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Having a certain person find out your secret. A certain person? Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. What? But listen to me, my Desi, she's... Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Ugh, Goddo. Yes, we know, it was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh. No. Everything is falling neatly into place for him. Don't talk about my Desi like that, or you'll be sorry. Threatening people probably isn't the best idea at this point. I mean, it seems like a terrible, terrible idea, to be honest. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? I didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly, there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear. Let's move on. Ugh. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. We're all ears. Okay. So we're getting another testimony. Cool. When I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. I mean, that's 100% at me. Suddenly, I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. Something's... Didn't at me say he was hit on the back of the head and then change it to he was hit on the forehead. Something's not adding up here. Something's off. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there dead. Interesting. I see. Suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Master Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Ha! No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Wright? Don't go easy just because he's your client. If I see any sign you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. Who is passing him those coffees? Seriously. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. Okay. So, we've got suspicious shadow, hit on head. If I hadn't been wearing what? That. Could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why, my Master Mask costume, of course. Wait just a moment. Masked Mask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Master Mask. And then I descended upon the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? What indeed? Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. Seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry. I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. Okay. Him and his coffee. At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Witness, please correct your testimony. Okay, I'd been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mask costume. Okay, why was he wearing the mask costume? Why were you dressed up as Master Mask? Why? Because I'm Master Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door. Ah, yes. I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Oh boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I'd expected. It took a lot longer? What is he talking about? What is he talking about? What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. My cape got caught on the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. What was that? Back up a second. Okay. Yes. You were the one that hid the body in the safe? Well, yeah. Inconceivable. Inconceivable indeed. Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? Question. When does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. When they take them off. But okay. When they take them off, fine. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. Do you mean that Mr. Delight hid the body because he's the murderer? Ah, so you're not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? Witness, make sure you add this to your testimony. Yes, sir. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the Fairweather Judge. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Well, who pushed the buzzer then? Hold on a minute. If he was murdered at 1 and somebody pushed the buzzer at 2, but it took him 10 minutes to get the thing in the safe, something's not adding up time-wise. Your Honour, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 a.m. What? If Mr. Rondelite was truly the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been headed his way.
Objection!
Ha! Let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there were security personnel in the building.
Objection!
Well, he worked there, so he would. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them.
Objection!
Oh, this is going back and forth. But, as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known.
Objection!
Ha! Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off.
Objection!
This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. Conscious? What do you mean by that? Ugh. Fine. Let's hear your theory. Recall the defendant's testimony. The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said that he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted. That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now, unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right. Whoever it was, they knocked out Ron Delight and then pressed the buzzer. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is...
Objection!
This is preposterous. It was this kid. Ron Delight is the one who killed Cain Bullard. Do we know this? Then who pressed the buzzer? It was the victim, of course. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. So Cain Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What is your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene. But how? Can I prove that it wasn't Cain Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I can prove it. There were no fingerprints on it. The defence's opinion is this, Your Honour. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. The actual buzzer, there were no fingerprints on it.
Take that!
I believe that this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer. Is there some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you're saying before you're opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is the clue itself. Now I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally, he would have left his fingerprints behind. Huh? We've got a point, right? Ron Delight obviously wiped them off.
Objection!
Why would he? A guard could have come at any moment. He touched that button. I know he did.
Objection!
The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. A Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have to wipe the button free of fingerprints? Order, order, order. It would seem I've been forced to eat crow. I wonder what blend number crow flavoured coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? To frame Ron? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Ha! It looks like you're fresh out of parlour tricks. They're onto you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard around 1 a.m. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed. Security was supposed to respond. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well then. Oh, you've got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? To call the security guard? He wanted to frame Ron? The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yeah. Although, as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in that office. The victim, Cain Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Ron Delight, who was out cold. And the 3rd person, the real killer. Hypothetically, yes. Now then, in this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Ron Delight. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Ron Delight for the murder. You spit that coffee out, dude. Order, order, order. It would seem that I've been made to eat my words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask, so, Nick, you mean the real killer is... We're going to drag that person in here right now. But, who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet. Think about it. The killer knew Mr. Delight's identity, and they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Cain Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Cain Bullard? I'm gonna say it's stupid at me. It's gotta be him. Detective Luke at me. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective Luke at me. You mean Masked Mask did it? Your Honour, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Cain Bullard. Okay. Order, order. Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder, which is the more serious crime? They're not even close. Murder is a more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When Luke Atmey confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, the famous detective was unmasked as well as masked a mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty. Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lord Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atmey's airtight, watertight, and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict as an alibi. You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atmey's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're going to stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Mr. Luke Atmey's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and fail to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? A bet's only good when your life's the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delight. So please, I'm begging you. Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Phoenix? What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice, it sounds like Mia. Your Honour, the defence requests an immediate recess. Ha. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atmey to the stand. Yes, Your Honour. Okay. We've got a recess. What is Mr. Payne doing here? Oh, is this in this other courtroom? Well, Sir Detective Atmey? I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atmey, you were the one who... That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant, Luke Atmey, an objection.
Hold it!
Wait, don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, Sir Lawyer, welcome to my courtroom. Who's this, Jose? My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law, and I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke Atmey. Accusation? You accuse Masked Mask? That man is not Masked Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Okay, so I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to save it. I'm going to go see if there's anybody we can raid super quick. And then I'm going to go and get something to eat, go to bed. Okay, doesn't look like there's anybody on. But I'll just double check around here. No. Okay. So there's nobody to raid, so I'm going to leave it there. So thanks, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for the follows, thanks for chatting. It's very much appreciated, and I will hopefully catch up with you all tomorrow. Okay, bye.